And good morning. Let me kill that. It didn't want to work when I first did it. Sometimes clicks don't click. Good morning, Dave in the AM on your Saturday, and we're excited to be here. Patriot Morning Show. Well, about 4:30 in the AM Eastern Standard Time. I wake up throughout the night. I'm always looking at news and things are going on, and it had just been a few moments since the president had announced that military operations had occurred in Venezuela and that Maduro and his wife were in custody. So the news is all aflutter this morning off of those. The video is outstanding that's rolling in, meaning it's outstanding that we're getting the source information from citizens. And nowadays, with this technology, everybody's got a phone or something. And so we're seeing that from the perspective of news, far away camera shots and up close where people are going to their doorway and seeing it in the distance. And sometimes these precision strikes that we're able to do within just a little bit of space, a few yards of their home, they're okay. They're rattled. I mean, you can tell they're upset. I mean, who wouldn't be? But we were hitting certainly military installation stuff that would stop our special forces from going in. This is not we don't. There's a lot of details we don't know. The president is going live at 11, I believe it is, for the press conference about this. Everybody's going to have a lot of questions about what, when, and where. Operational uh, operational things that we don't know yet. Where is Maduro going to be held? What's going on. And this guy, we can say, had a lot of opportunity to get out. I mean, he was told to get out. He was told it wouldn't be good if he stayed, and he brought that upon himself. And people can be mad, but this regime has been a dictatorship. He's hurt his country, and he certainly has brought hurt to the rest of the world, especially the United States. And so, I just say he had opportunity to do that, and he decided not to. Now the question will be, uh, hey, Violet Vixen, good morning to you. And folks, if you're on Rumble, and we always say, what do we say? If you're not on Rumble, what's wrong with you? Why not? Get that free app, download it. You can pay for print All right. If you can hear me, we lost everything. I don't know. I'm trying to pull the screen back up. That has never happened to that extent. And I have no clue what happened. They've been working on internet in my area. If you can hear me, I'm trying to pull this back up now. So give me just a second and we will see if we can't get everything working again. So, and this is a mess. What a mess we have. All right, hang on. Hang on. Toodaloo's there. All right, I'm back. If you're still there, for goodness sakes, it wasn't my end. It was my internet provider just lost everything. They were working on, I was just going to say, I was before I was, are we back up? Just somebody tell me if we're back up. If we're back up, we're good. If the stream is still there, I lost everything and it wasn't me. And I do apologize. They were working on the internet in my area. And if we're still live, just let me know. But I'm trying to bring it back up now. So, wow. Oh, that's a lot of fun. So you can see me. All right. Well, praise God. I lost everything. They're working on my internet in my area like 3, 4 o'clock this morning. And I guess, and everything was good before I went live. So maybe we're okay now. As I was saying, Violent Vixen, I don't know if she's still there. Make sure you follow Violent Vixen on Rumble, and she has another screen name. And if she is still there, if she will pop that in, that would be great. I'm still just fixing screens, so give me a second. Sorry for that. That's always so nice. Don't you just love it? Okay, I see things sort of kind of coming back up live, and praise God for it. maybe someone didn't like that I said something about Maduro. I don't know. I don't care. But give Violent Vixen, and I'm gonna put this on screen. Put this on screen for her. She's saying good morning. There she is. Make sure you follow her on Rumble. And if you're not on Rumble, what's wrong with you? Get that free app today. You can hang on to your other ones. It doesn't stop you from having the other ones, but make sure that you do that. But and hello, Army Dog 777, and hello to you. I think I'm following you. If I'm not, I will make sure that I am. That I am. Anyway, talking about Venezuela and the U.S. operations. Shout out, yes, I am. Shout out to the U.S. military for an amazing operation this early this morning. I don't know what time it was, Venezuela time. And oh, you're welcome. Let me just say, now I always want to give credit. I wish the only bad part about being someone who goes like one of like investigative reporter, just single-handedly can bring down bad people. She's got it. She's on it. And we appreciate it. So, if we can hold internet, we're going to talk about this operation for a minute. And anyway, it's not on my end. It's the wonderful world of internet, and for me, Xfinity, who are working on things in my area. They've been having crashes lately in my area. So when it's great, it's absolutely great. When it's not, it's not. So uh, it's just one of those deals. But anyway, the images of the helicopters rolling across the Venezuelan skyline as they're going to operation precision missile strikes. You can hear the strikes. You can see the people it rattling the buildings and stuff. But everybody's okay. Amazing I apologize. I have no idea what is going on, but I refuse to be punked out like that by my provider. We're going to try to get this show in, as choppy and as crappy as it may be. I am a Southern, stubborn person, and I will not let them have victory in my life today. I am a happy Saturday, by the way. Happy New Year. And we appreciate all of our content creators. As I was saying, Violet Vixen is an amazing person. I don't throw those things around to everybody. I support everybody as long as they're not evil, you know. But those that I really like in the Rumble world or wherever, whatever platform, but most of them in Rumble, I'm going to promote Kim's Coffee Talk, Killer Carl, Empty Pockets Podcast, Half Pine Forge Live, Violet Vixen, and anyway, I'm forgetting somebody I know. Big Tony, Big Tony. So anyway, this has been the most annoying thing this morning. Let me try one more time. If not, we'll just have to take the stream down and then call Xfinity and chew them out. So I've told them before. I said I've killed my stream more than once, and you need to get your act together. Chesapeake, Virginia, awesome, nice. I've been to Chesapeake before. Boy, it's nothing like traveling under the ocean, right, or the bay, whatever you want to call that. Is that not the coolest thing? You're rolling along and then you go under the water. That's cool. An Army dog, Northeast Ohio. We got a lot of Ohio folks in. Love the Ohio folks. Love the name. Blessings to you this morning. Anyway, as I was saying, while I still have internet, amazing operation. God bless the military. Pray for them. I'm sure there are some American parents right now who are going, wow, didn't see this coming. Obviously, they're not going to know. And all of a sudden, they know that their kids are in this carrier group it's the first time in decades we've had a carrier group, and maybe never of this size in that region. If it was during the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's just not an area that we normally send. And we knew something was going to happen. There's no way they were going to send that kind of military force and it not go. So, hey, Fort Stewart, yeah. But yeah, I'm Northwest Georgia, extreme Northwest Georgia, near the Chickamauga National Battlefield. If you've ever been there, know where it's at. But this carrier group there's thousands of sailors and soldiers and all of that are available. And boy, today they put on a display. And I want to tell you, this is the main reason I came on. This is the main what I want to say right now is people. There's always going to be the haters out there in our country who hate what we're doing as a nation. I support it because we know what that has been and I get it. People are going to say he's after precious metals, he's after oil, he's after this. I really don't care right now. After all, how many of our kids have died for it? How many of our kids have died to the drugs that have been sent out of that place? There is justice owed to us. So if we take some oil, I really don't care right now. I'm really sick of that argument. Every time we have a conflict about those things, and so whatever. But here's the thing: every little dictator in the world, from Cuba to Colombia to wherever that we have, people that shake their fist at the USA, threaten us, whatever it is, run that mouth and try to back tough and, get out there and tell their people we're this and we're all that or whatever. They just witnessed something that scares them to death. What they witnessed is a military that can come in and get your leader. It's like something out of Star Trek, right? The enemies beam in, grab the captain of the ship and beam out. That's kind of what this was like. They just absolutely, how often does that happen? How often do you see an operation where the leader of the country who surrounds himself or herself, it's usually some idiot guy, surrounds himself with, the military, his secret police, all that stuff, and hides in the bunker and all that, and lets these people die and all that. Well, this time we beamed in, zoomed in, and we grabbed your butt and we pulled your wife out with you. And I'm sure she's real happy right now, as he probably told her, we're not in trouble. They're not going to do nothing. We're okay. That's just the USA. They always talk tough. They won't do nothing. we'll hang on here and we'll stay in power. He just had the Chinese delegation in yesterday out there shaking hands with them, who were still in the country. The Chinese delegation, who multiple people confirming deals, and he's up there joking around. Well, good, okay. If you want to call it a cult, right now he is your president, whether you like him or not, Ted. And you can like or not like the operation, but facts are facts. It happened. So I get that. Should it join locals? Well, I have used it for some time, Violent. If you go live, it doesn't give you but 30 minutes, but you can post your show on there later. Now, so I don't know why they do that, but they limit you to 30 minutes. If you're doing a 30-minute show, locals is great. It's a great platform. And it works really well. I've never had a problem with it. But anyway, I have used it, and it's just another source. But you can also set up for subscriptions and stuff like that there. We do have a small following on locals. It works well with Rumble. And so since it does, I would say, yeah, it's probably a good thing to do that. But again, I'm here for open discussion. I don't take offense at that, Ted. I'm just saying, when you say moron cult, I guess you're assuming that I'm a moron cult member. And I did support the president. And I have supported the president on most things. I wouldn't say everything, but I do support the president, and I support these operations because you know what? When are we as men or a country going to stand up and stop the killing of our kids? And I don't care if the operation is for precious minerals, oil. I really just don't care about that argument anymore. If it's part of that comes with a deal, you know what? We deserve it. You know, how many dead Americans are laying in graves all across this country because of people like that, and you know what they've sent to our nation. And tough. I mean, you know, I'm just gonna say it like it is. And I think that the people of Venezuela will probably be happy to get this jackleg out of action and out of the way. And let's put him in the supermax. You know, I don't know, him a sell, her a sell. And he's got family there. So he's in a bad place right now. He's got to figure out, what do I got to do? He's going to spill the beans right now. He's got family. He don't have his Chinese buddies. He don't have his Russian buddies. He don't have anybody that can defend him right now. He's in cuffs. He's stuffed and cuffed, or cuffed and stuffed, however you want to say it. Right now, the police showed up, banged on the door, called our SEAL forces, and we just came in, and we probably had to take out a few secret police and military, whatever. That's fine. And we just yanked a leader out of their country. And boy, Iran is shaking in their boots right now. I guarantee you. You know, but again, I applaud this operation. They would. I know it. I know it. I get it. But again, you know, facts are facts. And whether anyone likes the operation or not, it still happened. I mean, you know, it's like you could hate the rain, but rain's still going to come down, although you should like rain. I love the rain. You can hate the hot. You can hate the cold. It's still going to happen. It doesn't stop the fact that it happens because somebody says that. So deal with the facts. You know, okay, you're upset. I get that. You're angry. I get that. But this guy going off the scene is not a bad thing for the world. And if everybody can't see that, then they're a part of the opposition. I mean, this guy is not a good dude. He's a bad dude, and we've took care of a bad. Yes, rain, absolutely, absolutely. We love the rain. There's a lot of songs with rain in it. You know, I'm musical, so every time I say something, my analytical brain, I'll start thinking of all the songs with rain in it or something. And the first song I ever liked as a little boy, raindrops falling on my head. You know, I just can't. It's funny. My brain works that way, so I have to focus again and not go down the list of songs. Purple Rain. See what I mean? It just and I don't have the brain for it that some people do. Some people can just give you a whole list, but yeah, I love it, and it'll be interesting to see who takes command here. There's already somebody that is positioning themselves for that. I would say that the next person that steps up, I think they're going to be listening a whole lot more to the USA and trying to make things right. It doesn't rain much in Iraq. That's for sure. That's for sure. I remember when he's deceased now, wonderful man of God that I used to go to church with. His nephew went to, I wonder if it was Iraq or Afghanistan. And the one thing that he wanted, they said, can we send you something? And he said, some of the soldiers here, and he's out, I mean, it's desert. He said, I would like some seeds and plant some kind of vegetable. And we're doing that in front of our tents. It's just a little garden spot. And he said that greenery and then the vegetables that we can grow, he said, it just reminds us of home. Think about that. It reminds us of home. We're sick of this sand environment, the desert, the dry, the no rain. We just miss home. We miss the greenery of home. We miss America. We're here to do a job and we get it done. And of course we didn't do what we could have done or should have done, but I've always think about that of soldiers serving far and, what they miss. And, they miss their families and they miss being able to do all the things that we do. And by gosh, we get to do stuff because we have young men. I mean, think about this. I went to the military when I was 17 years old. I've often thought about that. At 17 years old, I can die for my country, but I can't vote. When I got back, I looked forward to the clouds and the rain. Awesome. Yeah. Bless you. And thank you for your service, by the way. But yeah, you just miss the stuff. That's your environment. That's what you're used to. And, so I thought about that. I can't vote. I can't go I could do it on the base, and I don't drink anymore, but a long time. But at that age, I did drink a little, and I thought it was the coolest thing that I could go to the pizzeria there on the base and have a beer with some pizza, but I couldn't in the public. I couldn't do that. But well, again, thank you though. What was your years of service? Definitely share that. We love military here, and we love those people that have served. And thank you so much. And you did your duty, and that's the thing. But I think about these young men and women, and there's a lot of women serving in combat operations now, or in operations like this. And I just think about those as man, you've got the adrenaline rush. Can you imagine the operational as they're getting ready to lift off and go into this country? Can you imagine the adrenaline rush that these pilots have for the helicopter pilots, the SEAL teams, and everybody? 92 to 2015. That's a long service. Thank you. But can you imagine that? I mean, you get when I was in boot camp, we hit Grenada, which I didn't even know where Grenada was. But I'm thinking, are we at World War? They walk into a room one day. We're in a class. I'm like 2 weeks. It's not even full 2 weeks yet. I'm sitting in a classroom, and after class, we go out and, of course, march and do all this stuff all day until lunch or whatever, and clean and all that stuff. So we're in this, and all of a sudden, it's like the door flings open and all these superiors walk in, and it's like they just laid it out there. It's like a prepared statement. We need to let you know that the United States military today is in operations against Grenada. I mean, we're all looking at each other like, Grenada? What's that? I mean, where is it? And I knew a lot about, geography and stuff, but I didn't know where Grenada was. And I was thinking, ain't that place that the British or something? I was trying to think of what, and anyway, I could hear people whispering like, are we at war? Are we? And we all thought at that moment, we thought that we were at the end of our time in boot camp, we would be at war. And we didn't realize that was like a weekend at Bernie's operation. I mean, it just real quick. And we got the news. We were always lagging in news at that point because we were early in boot camp. So we only got the news they let us have. And I thought about my mom, and I thought I was worried about her. That was her oldest and her only son. My dad, mom are divorced. And I was sitting here thinking about what that news was like. Cause my mom told me what it felt like for the Cuban Missile Crisis. My dad was Army. And she said that was the scariest time in her whole life was the Cuban Missile Crisis. And of course, that was pre me being in the world. But my dad had just came out of the military, so he's eligible for recall and all that. So in her mind, she's thinking, my new husband is going to be called back up for, they were afraid we were going to war. And obviously with Russia, not just Cuba, but Russia. And it was a scary time. a scary time for my mom. So that's kind of what I felt. I thought about her. You know what? Oh my gosh, we don't know what's going on. We didn't realize it was mopped up in like 6 hours or something. I mean, but I thought about the parents today. But those men and women as they go in there, I mean, you know, you don't think it's ever going to really happen. You drill, you practice. They call you in, they do mock war games and all that stuff. And then some days, for some people, it's a go. Okay, this is a go. We're going in. This is the plan. We're going to hit. We're going to, and to think that you're the part of the team that's going to get the leader of a country. Can you imagine what that felt like for those folks as they were young people, as they were getting ready? Maybe some older, but a lot of them are very young. And the information we're going to catch out of this, I'd love to hear the people on the ground. I know some of that may be coming out now. I was trying to catch as much news as I could. I was watching some of the news earlier, all the strikes. They were showing, I was watching video of people in their apartment buildings riding by on motorcycles, looking at things on fire. My hope is that they'll pour out in the streets and, you know, and just celebrate this guy, this brutal dictator being gone. And hopefully, and under the United States guidance, they're not going to be replaced by the same kind of person. Or that's what changed today, is like, if you do that, we'll just get you too. And then that's a message to the rest of the world. Play ball. Stop messing around. You know, and no, some people look at that and say, well, you know, what right do we have to go in? And when you hurt Americans, when you kill Americans, when you're hurting the United States of America, this is the time that we use military action. This is the appropriate way. And we're not at a war where we went in and got a guy and we got out, you know, and wife too. I bet, you know what, if what's the saying, happy wife, happy life? I'd say she's not too happy with him right now. I say my opinion is she might just sing like a pigeon on this guy. Put her in a separate room, and she's probably going to give up everything. She's going to say, yeah, he told me we was good. You know, I want out of this, you know, my mom or my, you know, kids or grandkids or whatever. I don't know what they got. Brothers, sisters. Like I didn't sign up for this. You take that guy and do what you want with him. I don't care. I mean, their world is upside down. In Venezuela, you know, the weight can be lifted. This country should be one of the richest countries on the face of the planet. And there's so many places like that. They live in a backward time. All they do is steal from their country. They run it into the ground, and they act like they're the greatest leader ever. And it's really sad. And it's the people on the ground that suffer. That's who I really think about. When I saw that one guy, and I listen, I feel for him. I don't know if you saw the video, the guy that's in his doorway, he's an older gentleman, probably looks like 50s, 55, something like that. And it's a little distance away. It's not that far. And his building, it shakes. And he closes the door. Like, you know, honestly, man, I get it. You're closing the door, but that door, that's symbolic. I mean, we do that, but that door ain't, if there was something coming your way, I mean, that ain't going to help you. But I feel for him. But that's why we have that capability. This is we're not carpet bombing, you know, Caracas. I mean, you know, these are precision strikes to take out things so our helicopters can come in to hit, you know, his guard or whatever it is, his compound, and soften that up so that we can go in and grab this guy. There's a lot of things can go wrong in an operation like this. You know, helicopters could have been on fire. They could have grabbed up our service people and have knives through their throat or showing dead bodies and stuff like that. I don't know it doesn't sound like we had any kind of problem, and I hope that to be true. And we'll find out as that press conference kicks off in a little less than 30 minutes. But let's hope that no one, and I hope that no one, you know, no good, you know, just people living their lives were hurt on the ground. But if they do, it's at the feet of Maduro. I mean, he brought this on himself. I mean, we've been talking to him for weeks. You need to leave. You need to get out now. And he wanted, the rumor is, the sources say that he wanted all this money and guarantees. And I mean, he wanted to be set up like, that's usually what the world would do. They would let somebody leave. Let's set them up in the mansion somewhere, their own guard. They got all they ever want for the rest of their life. Butchers and murderers. You know, that's what Assad is doing over there in Russia. You know, he's sipping wine out on the balcony. You know, he don't have his little country anymore, but he's over there in Russia living the big life, and they're taking care of him. And he's, you know, he's not hurt. I mean, he butchered on his people for decades. He's called the butcher. I mean, he gassed his own people. I mean, he you know, he did horrible, unspeakable things. Not good people. Now, I don't know if the people that left are any better. We'll find out. They may be just as bad. But this guy deserves whatever he got. But unfortunately for him, he got to go and get out. Russia got him out, and he deserves to be, he deserves to be hung. I mean, this guy's evil. If the International Criminal Court was ever going to be what it was supposed to be, which I'm not for that thing, I hate it. If you really look it up, I don't know. At one time, terrorism was not even a crime at the International Criminal Court, the ICC. But that's a guy that should go to that, the guy that has done stuff like that. But that's why we didn't sign off on it, was because of wording that they changed before they ever voted on it. I mean, we agreed on it and went to bed. They changed the books, so we walked out. And to heck with them. We'll do our own justice. I don't want to be a part of world stuff anyway. We're America. We don't need it. And but Bashar al-Assad, I bet he was thinking today, well, I'm glad I'm in Russia. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm a comrade here over there, and wherever they got him at. I don't know if he's in Moscow or wherever. He deserves to be in a labor camp in Siberia, until his date of death that they choose for him. He's an evil guy. His daddy was an evil guy. Horrible people. Swore to death and destruction of people. They're horrible, horrible people. And Bashar al-Assad was actually college trained in America. That's another thing we got to stop, is giving these people, allowing them to have training here in our colleges, live here, and then go back and become a dictator, and we have problems off of it. We need to stop all that mess. Get these people, get these radicals out of our country, get these radicals out of our colleges, get the colleges straightened out. That's all the things we're trying to work on right now. I mean, and we as taxpayers, we're supporting all that. I mean, it's like we're paying for this guy's education, basically, and then he goes back and becomes a dictator. So, I'm not a person I'm not a warmonger. I don't root for war because war is bad. People die. A lot of people die. But I am for things. Sometimes you have to do that surgical strike. You have to hit a spot or a position or whatever, and you have to hit it hard. And that keeps people at bay. That keeps like, whoa, okay. We were talking big. Maybe we need to shut up a little bit. We're still alive. We're looking for the next bomb to come in, the next missile strike. We're still alive. Maybe we'll quieten down a little bit. Remember when they did that to Libya? Reagan said enough's enough, and he flew the operations over there, struck the palace. One of his children got killed. He shut up for about 20 years, and he got brave, got up there, and then look at the end of his life. But this guy had the opportunity to leave. This should be a message to every Mexican drug cartel. And I've said it before, and some people question me because I'm usually not for, like, I don't want to have to do operations. I think it's better if we don't. But when you got these cartels, and I said, I don't care if Mexico can't handle it, we can. And I would bomb them into smithereens. I have no problem with the strikes on the drug boats coming across the sea. Light them up. Because every shipment of that is more American kids dead. And then find out who on this side is receiving that and using that. And then because they are causing genocide and killing people, they need to be given the death sentence, and taken off the street because they're killing people. And that's a change it's had. If you sell the drugs to somebody and they die, that's the change we're doing. And we got to step it up. We have to, a good men have to stand up. A country has to stand up. You have to protect your populace. And this is destroying us from within. Every American family has been affected by the scourge of fentanyl and other things that they've brought across the border. And we have got to do that. And it's ugly. Listen, it's going to be an ugly operation. Things like this are not clean. This was a dang clean operation. I'm telling you what, everybody should be American pride right now, patriotism in our military. It should be off the scale right now. Let's applaud this operation because I tell you, there's a lot of parts to this. And they hit this thing and hit it quick and got their target. But we are to applaud it and say thank you, U.S. military, because I'm telling you what, this is as high data. Helicopters are not an easy thing. I mean, bad things can happen. They flew in some of the heavy ones, and you can see those coming across the sky. So I'm sure there was other attack helicopters, but those things, there's a lot of things can go wrong. A lot of things, just normal operations. I mean, we have training deaths all the time. I mean, how many times in the last 6-7 years have we seen training deaths off of helicopters and fighter jets, or they bail out? Because these things there's a lot to keep these things in the air. There's a lot of things that has to happen right every single day. I've had friends that have been pilots, and they're amazing. Yes, Army Dog. Yes, I get it. You know, because what as American pride is brought back into our military, uh, you know, and we're making a difference. And we're not, you know, there's a toughness coming back to our military. We're, you know, and I don't, you know, we're not. People say we're a bully. Well, no, we've been called the police, you know, for the world sometimes because who else is going to do it? Who else is going to go take care of Maduro? Who else would do that? We're the ones that have to do it. I don't like that. That's the way it is. But again, and again, I don't concern myself with Europe too much and all that because they need to handle their own business. This is our back door. This is our back door. You got to handle this kind of stuff. And you know, they made threats to us. If we don't show strength here, this is the type of country that would definitely let Russia put missile silos in there, or the Chinese. They are butting up to the Chinese big time, and I love it. I love it. And this is no coincidence. There is absolutely no coincidence that the Chinese delegation, this was all timed out. This is a message to China as well. Their delegation from China and the local ambassador, they were in the city. They got rocked. They just had meetings yesterday. They're still there. They got to wake up to the bombs and the missile strikes of the American military, the sound of helicopters flying across the city, and seeing the damage and the explosion and the re-explosion, the fires, and knowing that the leader that they just talked to yesterday is now in parts unknown and is under the custody of the United States of America. You go, America. And it's a message to China. Stop it in our down south here, because I've been saying this for a long time. If you just look at what's going on, the Chinese have been influencing a lot of stuff throughout Central and South America. They've been encroaching there. They've been doing everything they can do to prepare to counter us, and they're butting up to those nations. They're pouring money into those nations in many different ways. And this is a message to every single one of them. Okay, you play, you're going to pay. And that's okay. And you know, everybody says, well, Putin got mad because of what Ukraine was doing, is on his back door and whatever. Okay, fine. I see all that. I see what was happening under the Biden administration and stuff. I still don't like a lot of things he's done. I wish the war would stop. But okay, if we're going to go down that line of reasoning, okay, should we not have the same right to go when our security, when death to Americans are happening? Should we not have the right to say, you know what, we've had enough. Enough is enough. From Biden's own mouth. Remember, he said that a lot. Enough is enough. I say of right now, enough is enough. And there's more that's got to be done. We have got to secure this country. And it's a message to those inside our country that are here who are evil and want to take us down. And it's a message to outside the country that this president, he's not put us in any war. This is a message that we will hit you wherever you are. Remember those statements that he made? He has made some statements. He told Maduro, he knew he could get him. He said, we will hunt you down and all your family. We will get you. And he wanted to play it. He thought it was the same old game. You know, they used to have this thing, you know, the Potomac two-step. They do that, all that political dancing around. Well, this is the Central America two-step, where they would, you know, mouth in the press and talk tough, shoot guns in the air and all that crap they do. And, you know, and we've just had leaders that have been weak, and they just roll with it, you know. And, you know, well, this time we didn't roll with it. We put the pressure there. We put we secured, you know, we put the presence there that we could control the airspace, and we control, you know, offloads, onloads. We've been taking captive their oil that's coming out of there. We're not letting it being sold on the black market. And we told him to get the heck out, and he didn't do it. He had an opportunity. Safe passage, get out now, and you better move, or it's going to be bad for you and your whole family. Well, he didn't do it. So you get what you get. Listen, if you're going to talk tough, you got to back it up. If you're not willing to back up tough talk, don't say it. And that's the worst thing you can do. If your neighbor comes over and you tell them, if you do this again, I'm punching in the mouth. When they do it again, you better be ready for the punch in the mouth, because there are some people in this world, they're going to push you and try you to the very end. They don't care. They don't care. They don't respect that. And a lot of places in the world, especially the Arab, the Middle East, and places, they don't respect your words. They respect actions. They still hate your guts, but they will shut up. They will stand down because they don't respect the words. And all this stuff that we've said from different administrations, you know, sometimes you have to follow that up. And now listen, going back to Iraq, and I appreciate the service in Iraq. Uh, Again, we're going to talk about that for generations of whether we should have been in Iraq. Well, again, it happened. So that's fun to talk about. I like to talk about geopolitical stuff. I like to talk about wars and should we, shouldn't we, should we have gotten some we didn't. I mean, whatever. Those are fun discussions. They're studied in classrooms by military and political people in colleges, and they will continue to be, and they should be. And I like that kind of thing. But I will say this: it's after the fact now. The one thing I can say is that Saddam and Uday and Qusay, three evil people, are no longer on this earth. I can say that. These are also people that killed their own people, gassed their own people, and the Kurds, who by God we didn't treat right. We owe the Kurds a lot, and we didn't treat them very good at all. They were they're really the black sheep of their own family. You know, the third tribe there of the major tribes, and everybody beats on them there, and they helped us in lots of ways. But you know, he gassed them more than once. He treated them like crap. They're a listen. Again, they're not Christians, but they're a very peaceable, docile. From what I understand, I've not been there, but I know people who have, and some of them had people that were helping them translate or whatever, and they gave us intel and they helped us in lots of ways. And what did we do? We loaded up and left them to their own doings. We got a bad history with that. Oh, you were there. We call awesome. Yes. And see, you have a hand in that. All this, you're supporting that by being there. And again, people are going to complain about Iraq, but listen, I will never. And it's like Vietnam. Whether it should have been Vietnam, it happened. But to the American soldier, by God, they did their job to the best that they were allowed to do it. Sometimes the politics gets in the way. It did in Vietnam. It did the first go around in Iraq. We should have cleaned up the operation then. We should have never been back. But the American soldier does what they do their duty. And, they don't have the option to say, sir, I don't know that we should really be here. I mean, is this really a war that we want to do? They don't. That's not the way this works. They bark and you do what you're told. I mean, that you do your duty. And when you raise that hand and you go in the military, you belong to them now. And they tell you that in boot camp. You're no longer your mamas. You're no longer your daddies. You belong to us. You signed up. You willingly do it. You got options to back out of that all along the way. But once you take that oath, you make that call to mama and let her know that little Johnny, that's what they said. Little Johnny, we got in at 2 a.m. I faked the call because at the time we didn't have a phone in our home and my neighbor was asleep and we're elderly. And so they made us make the call. And I called home. It's like, well, by this time, I think it was 3 a.m. And you had 2 minutes to make that call. And from California, I faked the call because I wasn't going to do it. But I told them, I tried to say, I can't do it. And they said, you make the call, boy. By God, we got to make sure mama knows you're okay. And then we're going to whoop your A, So, okay. So I go ahead and I faked the call. I had to. They're sitting there watching us. So I came back out. There was I just had to hope the good Lord would give her peace about it. But then, it's Katie bar the door. It's boot camp. It's what it is, But you go into operation, you go to a country and you're dealing with a bunch of crap that you don't have to deal, normally wouldn't deal with. And, you come back and there's always that most, not all, but most if they're in a theater of war, they come back damaged. I mean, there's things they saw. There's things they saw that we don't see. There's just things you see that you can't never get out of your brain takes a snapshot of it. The sounds, the smells, what you hear, what you see, what you hear, what you taste. That's always there. I have great respect for that because, there's cultural things that in Iraq and Afghanistan that are horrible. And our military, men and women had mostly men, but some women. And I mean, we can't, the supply trains. I mean, my gosh, this is the first war that I remember they were, had women and had them, and they were scared to death, but they were doing their duty. And, they were captured and unspeakable things was done to some of them. And yes, and I don't have that knowledge. So I'm just saying what I would suppose to be the right thing. But this is a person that's been there, definitely smells and culture. Absolutely. And that will always be there. It's like I was talking about songs earlier. Songs identify time frames in our life. and I can hear a song and I think about a time. I can also smell certain foods or smells like talk about your mom's perfume or something. If you ever smell that and your mom is gone, I mean, you're going to think about that. Oh, it reminds me of my mom, or bad bread baking or whatever she did. It comes right back to you. Well, that stuff does too. You know, what you've seen, the unspeakable things they do to the kids over there. It's like normal, a part of their culture. You know, that I don't know how you, I mean, that's why the president pardoned the one gentleman, you know, who took action. You know, I mean, I'm a man. I'm gonna tell you what. I don't care whose kid is. If I took a group of kids to Six Flags or whatever, or to church, or to some camp, or the lake, or whatever, I'll lay down my life for them because that's what we do. And to see a kid being abused in that way, all right, that's your culture. Well, you know what? You're sick. But they're subjected to that. They're told you can't say nothing, you can't do nothing. But you try listening to that. You try listening to a kid scream out when unspeakable things are happening to them, and tell me how would you feel? And you're sitting here holding, you know, a weapon. And I mean, at some point, every man has a line. You cross it, and that's it. And so that's the hard part of this. And you know, and you're going into a land. I mean, this force that went into Venezuela. You know, I mean, there's enemies there. There's people that have been raised up to hate America. I believe there's a lot of people that probably love America, and I think this will be a great restoration of things between the nations, hopefully. But the people on the ground, I mean, think of what they've been through. They can't afford food. Can they even get the food? I mean, this should be paradise. This place has all the ability to have money and resources, and everybody should. The jobs, people without jobs should be very low rate in Venezuela. Maybe it'll increase now, you know. But this is what happens, and of course that's their place. It's kind of like, you know, Star Trek, and you know, you have the you can't go in and mess with a culture or whatever. Well, sometimes we have to break that rule, and they did too. And this is one of them. And hopefully it'll work out. But these American service people, they go in and they're being subjected to that. And there's times that we just have to do it. And I don't like it. I don't like seeing the body bags either. I don't like seeing the flag draped coffins. I don't like hearing we got missing in action, of which we still have a heck of a lot of them over. We don't know where they're at. God bless those who are in recovery operations for bones or whatever, from people from World War II, Vietnam, Korea, whatever. It's an ongoing process, and we'll never find them all, but let's get as many of them as we can. God knows where they're at. And, you know, we'll just paying homage to them. That's why, you know, I love the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. You know, we don't know who they are, but we know that they stood for this country, and freedom has a cost. Freedom has a cost. And that's why, you know, all these podcasters and creators and stuff, we realize, I mean, we understand that cost, and freedom is very special. You know, I've talked to people that lived in countries, and Iraq was one of them, where the knock on the door, it brought great fear to the family because of the police. Uday and Qusay and their minions under them were notorious for pulling people out, and they never returned. They were killed. Okay, I may have one. I don't know if it affected my Rumble or not. I've got a key. They're telling me I've got to redo. So if I lost any of the Rumble, I apologize. So maybe not. But you know, you think about people like that, and women that were taken out and brutalized and stuff. You know, this is no different. Same kind of people. Socialism, communism, and we have to maintain our again. You kill our kids, there should be an answer for that. There's justice, and for too long we've had leaders that have just turned their head to that. And how long are we going to let that happen? I've listened to some former military that do podcasts, and this is what they say. And they've been in the foreign field. They've been on the in Iraq. They've been in Afghanistan, and they're sickened by what they see. And they say, you know, how long are we going to put up with this? How long are we going to put up with the other nations hurting our children? We're allowing this, and we're going to answer to God for that. Are we going to let people continue to put the poison in our kids? We have to, at every level in America, we have to stop that. We have to say, not on my watch. I'm not going to put up with it. I worked with a guy once, and he loved his grandson. Boy, I tell you, he loved that grandboy, and he did everything with him. And they were in some community stuff together, and he just loved him. Well, he was 16 or 17 years old, and he went to a party in a city that's real close to me. Actually, one that we broadcast from. Sometimes he went to that. He went to that party and was introduced to some stuff, and he died. And it devastated. It devastated my friend. Uh, he never recovered. He's dead now himself. He was always a smiling, laughing guy. Really liked to have fun and cut up and go on. And after that, he just never smiled again. There is a monument to his grandson in one of the cemeteries it's in about 30 minutes from me. And in that section, there's all these normal size headstones and stuff. This guy spent $30,000 out of his retirement and savings and whatever. And he put, I mean, I need to go take another picture of that. He put one heck of a monument there. It's a beautiful reminder of the love he had for his grandson. But it's also a message that we got young people dying. And, went to the funeral home, and you just, what do you say, And he said, I had no idea. No idea. And that's happening in families all across. And we have to do something. We have to. You can do that without, violating freedoms and stuff in our nation and all, but you have to. I'm talking about for us. I don't care about their freedoms. You know what? The ones that are sending the poison, people crying about their freedoms. What about protection of young teenagers and housewives and businessmen who have been, given this stuff and they're hooked or the first time they're dead? I've dealt with it right here close to where I live. A neighbor. I've mentioned that story before. I won't go through it. How they were near death, and thank goodness they were able to be brought out of it. And I cannot tell you the amount of people that has been affected, death and near death stories, and the rest are in prison, and they need some help. They're sick with this addiction, and you know what's sad? They get it in the prisons too. They can do as much drugs in the prison as outside the prison. We got a big problem in our justice system in America, and the state of Georgia is one of the worst in the nation. And I love my state, but we got to get it together. We're under investigation in our state right now, and have been for some time, because of the conditions, because of deaths. You're safer on the street than you are in prison. It's bad. We had a prison nearby us. They finally fixed it. They fired the warden, but this is after, I think it was 7 prisoners died. The people, the kinds of things that were going on, and this is only about 45 minutes away from me. The locks on the cells were broken, and everybody knew it. They wouldn't fix them. So at night, the prisoners rolled through and went after people. This is where they were putting the knives, shivs, and everything to people's throat. And they used their cell phones, and they would send their families video and say, if you don't put money on this Cash App or whatever, we're going to kill your boy. And this happened a bunch, and 7 died. And they finally, I know the guys that went in and fixed the locks. I know the company that was called in. I had a business relationship at the time, and they were telling me how they were a little worried about going in, but they went in and fixed all the locks. And the stories out of Atlanta area, and the prisoners laying there, old men have been in prison a long time, laying in maggots and bed bugs and stuff, and died. I've got friends that have went down to even prison hospitals, like it's a hospital, but it's a prison for those that are they got mental issues from things where they had wrecks or whatever, and they can't be even there. And seeing one friend of mine told me, he said, my son was going downhill every time I would visit. He said he's going downhill. People are beating on him, and he doesn't understand. His part of his brain was damaged in a car wreck. He doesn't understand, and he just messes. He got to where he's in a wheelchair. He's a big, strong young man who's in a wheelchair. He said, I think within 3 months my son will be dead. They finally got him out of there. He's out now. And they have him in a place that will help him. But this is what goes on. And most people just think, I don't care. They committed crimes, to heck with them. This is humanity. And this is the kind of stuff that has happened because of this that swept across our country. These were normal kids. These are good kids. I know this family, military family, military, multi-generational military family, who are very patriotic and love their country. It affected them. It gets us all. It's heartbreaking to watch. I have a son in prison right now. It's drugs. And so I have no problem with this operation. I don't care what people say about it. It's a fact. They can't change it anyway. And I applaud the president on this. Again, I appreciate those who have stayed through the problems we've had with the internet. Hopefully, get better. I got one thing to fix. I will be back in about 30 minutes with another show. I'm going to sign off, correct everything, make sure it was good. Thank y'all for coming in. Thank you for your service. Thank you, Violet Vixen, Army Dog 777. Love that name, by the way. Rumble has the best names. They really do. Well, I think Instagram does too. They have some really good names. Thank y'all for being there on Instagram. And I always, the names, I like them. I think you put thought in them, you know. Some of them don't make sense to me. Some of them maybe ain't supposed to, but some of them absolutely are like a message, and that's cool. God bless America. Let's pray for our president, pray for our military, and let's pray for those, especially those who are down there in this operation. And let's hope it's very hard to have a clean, clean operation. There's no damage. We'll find out. Press conference is starting now. I'll be out of here. I'm going to watch it myself. And everybody have a blessed Saturday. If I don't see you again today, we appreciate you. And God is good every day. Take care.